Now, I am delighted to welcome to the studio Derren Brown. Derren, how are you?
Hello. I just can't get over Leslie Joseph is 72.
Oh, she looks incredible, doesn't she?
I'm still on that.
She looks amazing. She looks amazing. Now, congratulations on another nomination. Now, you've won 2, you've been nominated for a 3rd, and this is your 4th nomination.
This is my 4th nomination.
That's incredible.
It is.
How does that make you feel?
I think because I do TV and theatre, and there's something always just a bit grimy about TV and something very noble about theatre. So it is lovely. It does mean a lot to me, and it's always felt like it means more than a sort of a TV award. So yeah, it means a lot.
And your show Underground, which is nominated for Best Entertainment and Family, it's going to go on tour in April. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a bit about it?
This is a sort of a best-of show. It was originally written as a show to take abroad to other countries of people that didn't know me. So I warmed it up in London at the Charing Cross Theatre, little tiny theatre, to get it ready for smaller theatres elsewhere abroad. And by the time I'd done that and then gone abroad with it, it felt like a really good show because it was all the best bits. I just wasn't sure if people here wanted to see a sort of a best-of show. So I toured it last year and it went down really well, so I'm now touring it again at the other theatres. So it is all previous stuff, but it's been reworked. It's its own show with its own heart and narrative.
And so if you've combined bits from previous tours and previous shows, do you have one show that was your favourite, or do you like to pick the best bits of each?
This is my favourite. I always sort of feel that whenever I'm doing a show, so it's hard to give like an objective answer. I suppose there isn't one, but It is the best bits of all the previous shows, so that was a really good start. But it's also the one that I've worked in more than any other show. I did it every night for maybe 10 months last year. I've never done that before with the show, so I've sort of reached a point with it where I can just love it and love every minute rather than being tense about things going wrong, which is my normal experience.
Fantastic. Now, we actually have got some questions from people who are watching.
I love a live question.
Love a live question. Now, Brenna asks, if you could have a go at any other theatre role, what would you choose?
Oh, wow. Oh, God.
It's a big question, actually.
It is, yeah. I would love to act, I have to say. I just never really get a chance. And I love the idea of acting in theatre much more than TV, I think, 'cause I'm just used to that thing of being able to work on something night after night. I really don't know. There was a sort of a Sherlock Holmesy thing that once got floated, which wasn't quite right. Again, I didn't have time, so I honestly don't know. I've never really... Of course, your mind immediately goes, if you think you're going to act, well, Hamlet, which is probably inappropriate as well. So somewhere between Sherlock Holmes and Hamlet, I would think.
And you think if something like that came up, you would do it?
I think if I had the time, which is always the difficult bit, then yes, I'd love to. It'd be a bit of a risky thing to do, and of course I might be terrible, but I've got... The sort of thing I do is a sort of acting. It's just a very specific and very comfortable form of acting because you're kind of playing yourself. But a lot of the sort of technical side of it is in there. I mean, there's a lot that I had to learn just to do a show every night on stage. So yeah, I'd be really intrigued.
Brilliant. Now we have a question from Carly Ann, who says, "What do you enjoy most about performing on stage?"
I think I get to be this very charismatic version of myself, which is a lovely thing to do. You know, you get to be this version of yourself that's funny and really well rehearsed and just in your best possible state, and that's lovely. Particularly when I combine that with during the days I get to write. I'm normally book writing or something like that, so I get this sort of quiet thing during the day. I don't talk to many people, then I go out and just do this thing in the evening, which is always fun because it's a fun show. It's much more fun than probably the TV stuff that I do. So that's lovely. That's a really nice kind of rhythm to have.
Brilliant. And one of the themes for the Oliviers is be inspired. So who inspired you to sort of begin doing what you do?
Gosh, so there was, in the sort of magic world, there's a guy called Chan Canasta who was around in the sort of 50s and 60s, really Polish mind reader. There haven't been many of us historically. He was wonderful. He was very inspiring. Had a great sense of authority. Very charismatic performer. Very sort of underplayed, understated in his manner. So him really. There's also the Penn and Teller, the American duo. Teller in particular, who's the quieter half. I do draw a little bit of inspiration. David Berglas as well, who's a giant in my world, a veteran of sort of magic and mind reading too. So those are probably my three big: Chancanasta, David Berglas, and Teller.
Brilliant. Now we've got one more question from Russell, who says, "What does winning an Olivier Award mean to you?"
Good question, Russell. I've thought about this because I think it's a strange one, because when you're creating something and you're the guy behind that, you obviously can't be thinking about awards. That would all be wrong. And then you end up taking credit for a team effort. So I think a lot of performers get a bit hung up on whether or not awards mean anything to them, and sometimes they can be sniffy about them. I think the reality is what the guy on the poster thinks about it really isn't that interesting. It genuinely isn't, I don't think, for that guy. There's so many people involved in making a show for which an Olivier, or any award really, can mean a huge amount. It can be career changing. And actually for the guy that's sort of accepting it and making the speech, it's probably it means a huge amount, but for me, I don't see it as something for me. And that's not a kind of false modesty. I tend to give it to the director or someone else in the team and then get a copy made for myself. It's lovely to have, but I genuinely don't think it's for me. And I think if you are the person in my position, you're so used to taking the credit for a team effort that I think it's important to sort of to get that. So it means a huge amount, but I genuinely don't see it as a thing for me.
But a thing for everyone you work with as well.
Yeah, and I think it's important. And it always annoys me when some artists get very arty and sniffy about awards, and they say, well, it's not important to me. Well, who cares what you think? It's not really. It isn't about you. It really isn't about you.
I completely agree with that. I think that's really astute. Now, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck on the night. We will see you there.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, this has been very nice. Thank you.